Welcome back, everyone, for wildcard week of the 2015-2016 NFL season. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Here are the picks. The first game has Kansas City going to Houston, where the Texans are 3-point dogs at home, and the total is 40. These two teams met back in week 1. It was a Kansas City 27-20 victory. A lot of those points from Houston were in garbage time. The Chiefs then lost the next 5 games. Mind you, they were against mostly tough teams and then won 10 straight to end the season as the hottest team in the NFL. The Texans have a very good defense, but probably the worst offense of all the playoff teams in the NFL, and they just lost their left tackle, Dwayne Brown, at the worst possible time, just as Kansas City gets back all-world linebacker Justin Houston. This guy had 22 sacks last year. Kansas City hasn't won a playoff game in 22 years. I think that's the 3rd longest drought in the NFL. Ironically, it came against Houston, the Oilers, at that time. It should be a defensive battle. As I mentioned, both these defenses are very good, but inevitably it should be Alex Smith versus Brian Hoyer, the quarterback for Houston. And I'm going to go with Alex Smith. I've been a big Smith backer all year long. I think Kansas City will win this game 23-13. So take the Chiefs -3 and take the under 40. The second game has Pittsburgh going to Cincinnati, where the Bengals are 3-point dogs at home. That total is 45.5. The Bengals started the season really strong, going 8-0 before they hit a bit of a wall. And then Andy Dalton broke his thumb. He's been out ever since. Come on, Andy. Get in there. Chop it off. Do what you have to do. I only mention that because Ben Roethlisberger across the field, the quarterback for Pittsburgh, you could chop his thumb off, and I think the thing would regenerate. This guy's a tough mother. Cincinnati's got one of the best defenses in the NFL. Pittsburgh's defense gives up more yards than they do points. They're not as bad as you think, and they do have a very good offense. If you think about it, Pittsburgh's had to face the number 1 defense in Seattle. They have the number 2 defense, Cincinnati, twice. Number 3 defense, Kansas City. Number 4, Denver. Number 7, Arizona. And number 10, New England. Despite that, they still scored the 4th amount of most points in the league. And Ben missed a little bit of time, and so did some receivers, and they had some issues at running back. Ultimately, it's going to be about Roethlisberger versus A.J. McCarron, who will be making his first start in the playoffs for the Bengals, and I think that'll be too much for A.J., and the poor Bengals should be out after not winning another playoff game, which is too bad. I think the score in this game should be Pittsburgh 33 and Cincinnati 23. So take Pittsburgh -3 and take over 45.5. The third game is on Sunday, the first of the Sunday games, as Seattle goes to Minnesota, where my Vikings are 5-point dogs at home. What? And the total is 39.5. Back in week 13, Seattle came into Minnesota and just handed our heads to us on a platter. Russell Wilson's done that to other teams, so nothing to worry about there. In Minnesota's defense, we were missing a lot of our best defenders. We had our nose tackle, Linval Joseph, run-stopping specialist. He was gone. Our best linebacker, Anthony Barr, was gone. Both of our safeties were gone. And so Russell was able to pick apart our defense. That won't be the case this week. It's also going to be very cold in Minnesota, so that should put a little bit of a damper on Seattle's high-powered offense. It should come down to Marshawn Lynch versus Adrian Peterson. In that game in week 13, Peterson was only given the ball 8 times. I'm sure they'll give him the ball at least 20-25 times. Marshawn Lynch might be a little bit rusty, could lose a fumble here or there. You never know. Seattle could be peeking ahead to playing, I guess it would be Carolina. Minnesota, meanwhile, is playing with house money. No one expected them to win the division. I did, but I'm a Minnesota fan, so they'll be all loosey-goosey. Ultimately, though, Seattle is a little bit more battle-tested, and this will be the first game for Teddy Bridgewater in the playoffs, too. So I think Seattle does squeak one out. So unfortunately will take the Seattle Seahawks to beat my Vikings 20-16, but take Minnesota against the spread and take the under 39.5. And the fourth game has Green Bay going to Washington, where the Redskins are now 1-point favorites. They were 1-point dogs earlier in the season, but it switched, and the total in that game is 45. This is the only game where the teams haven't met each other at least once during the season. Green Bay had that nice 6-0 start, but sputtered down the stretch, going 4-6. And Washington, meanwhile, went 5-1 down the stretch. They didn't beat any playoff teams, and that might be the knock on the Redskins, but they still won those games. Quarterback Kirk Cousins might be a candidate for a breakout player of the year. He's done very well, gotten better every week. His head coach, Jay Gruden, has done a great job. You know, first of all, he squashed all the RG3 drama. You never heard anything about that all year, and he allowed Cousins to thrive in the system. Meanwhile, on Green Bay, head coach Mike McCarthy had to take away the play calling duties from offensive coordinator Tom Clements. It doesn't seem like the Green Bay players are on the right page. Aaron Rodgers with his receivers, maybe he misses Jordy Nelson more than we think. The running game hasn't been very good. Eddie Lacy's out of shape. James Starks has dropped the ball a couple of times. Green Bay is 15th in scoring in the NFL. When did you ever hear that? They're usually top 5 at least. You know, like the Pittsburgh Cincinnati game, it's all about timing. And right now, the Packers are sort of going the wrong direction while Washington is playing their best football of the year. So I'm going to take Washington to win this game by a score of 35-25. So let's take the Washington Redskins -1, and we'll take over the 45. Here's my Let's Take the Man's Money parlay play. We're going to take 6 picks with a parlay this time. We'll take Kansas City -3. We'll take Pittsburgh -3. We'll take Washington -1. We'll take the Kansas City-Houston game under the 40. We'll take Pittsburgh-Cincinnati over 45.5. And we'll take Washington-Green Bay over 45. I'm going to leave out my Vikings because I'd be betting with my heart. A $25 play will get you $1,269.85. Good luck. And those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Voting is now open for the 5th annual GIOKNOWS Awards. You get to vote for your favorite prognosticators in 5 different categories. Go to GIOKNOWS.com, click where it says awards, and then sign in with Facebook or Google+, and you can choose your favorite prognosticators in 5 different categories. It really means a lot to us if you do vote. Okay, guys, so go to the link. I'll leave it below. All right. For the GIOKNOWS YouTube channel, I am Gio. Let's take the man's money.